What is going on, guys? Chris here. Welcome back to another video. So we're on our day off. We're scrolling across Reddit, and we got something interesting that we can talk about. Comparisons. I've been fortunate enough to be playing both versions of Smite 2 and comparing the aesthetics and the differences and the benefits between the original UE5 look and then the new look that we have. Somebody made a post on Reddit that said, "Anybody else not a fan of the current map being so colorful and goofy? Realistic makes the fights better and the gods stand out." And if you scroll through some of the comments, a lot of the comments are, like similar to this. I swear to God, every person that reminisces about the first Smite 2 map didn't actually play it. It wasn't good. There was zero visual clarity. So what I did was I pulled up two separate videos because luckily for me and us and this video, I have played both. And I have both versions available to look at right now. So this is 1 day ago. This is 1 year ago. So this is about as early of Smite as you can see. You can obviously see the difference between the UI upgrades and different things. My settings have always been on high. So we are just going to sit here and compare right now. So, one thing I will say, I do like the environment quite a bit better. Everything feels more alive, and I like the lighting a little better. That is something. So like when I'm giving you my thoughts on the differences in what's better and what's worse, there is a long way that Smite 2 can go on this side, but I do believe this route is better. Mainly because when you start watching the differences, this looks very cool. I'm going to be honest with you. But after you play it for like 10, 15, 20 games, it gets very, very dull. It's just, even as you walk through the jungle, it is cool that it's like, a little bit darker, and the abilities kind of lit up the scenery around it. It felt very like alive. Like you look at that, it looks alive. But the issue is, and the issue was there was so much focus on the abilities looking really cool. Emir's 2 used to have spikes come up and then break apart, and there was just like a lot of additive things added visually to the abilities that made the game look really good. But when you started to have a lot of different abilities go off, and it's something that Smite kind of runs into an issue right now, the screen got way too busy visually. And now if you start to add the fact that you would see abilities or whatever light up. Let's see if we can get like different parts here where we're possibly traveling through the jungle, maybe. So like walking through the jungle on this side, it does look pretty cool and more realistic. Okay, so I do think as we're clearing camps here, like I do agree that some of these do kind of look better. But what we have to understand is this map was a longer work in progress with a larger team than this is. And again, I still think this has a long way to go visually. But Smite 2 is intended to not look realistic. We're not trying to look like a typical UE5 game. We're not trying to look like that. I got the same message when I went and played Predecessor on a sponsor stream a few weeks ago. Somebody had said like, "Oh, Smite wishes they could have these graphics." Smite shouldn't wish they should have these graphics. Now, again, I'm going to say this for like the fifth time. This does have a long way to go. There's a lot of things I think they can take examples from here and move it over to here. Okay? But I will say, playing on this, more than anybody who is watching this video right now, I've played more Smite 2 than arguably anybody in the world. I am higher level than almost anybody. My account level is like 130 or something crazy, right? I've played 3,000 hours of Smite 2 or something crazy like that. This, after playing on it for a while, gets very, very dull. Just all the browns, different... It's just browns, tans, and just some greens compared to all the different colors we get here. I don't think this looks goofy. I think this looks fantasy-like, and I think that's how Smite is intended to look. But I do think, and I do agree, that there are some really great things about this first map. The lighting... Okay, so, like, this one. Saturation is better. The colors are better. They're more inviting. They work overall. It's more Smite. This side, I like the environment art a little bit more. I like the lighting a little bit more. And there's a few other things that I think they can take from this to make this better. These areas with the camps that they made, the speed camp, the purple camp, the blue camp, all the little art that they made around that is great. The colors and vibrancy, I think, is better. I actually do like the colors. It's more fun to play on. I think it's something that Fortnite figured out very early. If you'll notice that game, there's something that studies they've done psychology-wise, aesthetically, that makes things more inviting to continue to keep playing. If you play on this for too long, it just doesn't hit your brain the same way. I don't know how to explain it. I should have pulled up a study as part of this video. But they've done studies on different things like Fortnite has done. The very vibrant green grass, the yellow glowing chests when you find them. Like, everything is very vibrant. And that leads you to enjoy playing it longer. The same way that there's certain audio cues, like hit marker sounds, or, you know, like when you get a headshot in Fortnite, it makes that little, like, drop in a bucket sound. Like, just additive things like that make the games more fun to play from a reward system in your brain. And I do think this caters to that aesthetic with the more vibrant colors. But I will say, if you talk to most people that played this version, you see how, like, even right there when I'm casting abilities, it's very cool to see your abilities kind of light up the dark area to an extent, and you can see the light travel. That's very cool. But again, what would happen was when there's a lot of different abilities going off, it was making your screen so busy, it kind of just got frustrating to watch and play. I don't know how to describe it. You would have to, like, for any of these people that didn't really experience early Smite, like, you look at this, and I even come back sometimes and look at this, I'm like, it is kind of cool. It does have some charm that I think we've lost on this current iteration of this map. And I just did a video, if you check the channel, a couple days ago on what I didn't like about this map. And I didn't really cover things aesthetically. I basically only covered the strategic side of what exists on the map and not the aesthetics of the map. So I guess this is the aesthetic version of the map. I like the route that they've gone. I really like the glowing purple buff now and whatnot. But I do come back and look at this sometimes, and I do understand what they're saying. Just from a quick glance, some of this does look cooler. It just does. But all I can say to you is if you didn't play on it, it's hard to explain to you why. If you played on it quite a bit, you'd understand. There's a lot of people that are like, I played on this a lot. It just got too dull. It just didn't feel like Smite. And then every time I keep looking back here, I'm like, this just looks how it's supposed to look. But I do think, textures-wise, the gods look pretty good. Like, this Apollo model, it looks pretty good. They've added in some quality of life things and some glowingness when you hit somebody, and I know a lot of people aren't fans of that right away, but I feel like that might end up working out in the long run as long as they tweak how immersive it is or how it works. But I do think that we have to understand that it's still a beta that hasn't fully been worked on in quite a bit, right? Let me get this character in the jungle since this was like a lot of solo lane stuff. I'm just always in the solo lane fighting, aren't I? We got like a fire giant, I'm assuming. Yeah, so that's pretty much just what I wanted to cover to show you. Like, look how dark the jungle is. Kind of cool, kind of different, kind of cool, but just too dark, right? I do like some of the lighting better. Like, it just, like, that just looks cool. Like, when you have a dark environment and a lit-up fire tornado, it looks cool, right? But it's just so dark, so browns, right? There's just, like, a lot of different browns because that's what a realistic look is, right? When you have rocks and dirt, you're going to just get a lot of different shades of brown. 50 shades of brown, perhaps. That sounds bad. Yeah, it just, there's a lot of things I think that they can do to increase the quality aesthetically of this map and just the way Smite looks. But one thing I will say, go look at Smite 1 in beta, right? And then go look at what it looked like at Smite 1 Season 10. It is night and day difference. You can look at Smite Season 5 compared to Season 10 and just look at the visual upgrades we got, and then just understand that we're never going to run into an issue where we have an inability to continue to upgrade an engine anymore. The reason that we couldn't just go from 3 to 4 to 5 is because, like, it just didn't port correctly. There's more tech-based analysis that could be described as to why you couldn't, but you just couldn't. Now we'll never run into that. So we are only going to continue to upgrade the engine, which means we are only going to be able to create a better-looking game And that's all I'll say. I do think this route artistically is going to be better in the long run. I do think there is some things to take from here that did look better, but overall, I don't think they should go back to this route artistically. I think the route that we took here is better, but I do think that this has some things that we can take from. Because I, like, even, again, sitting here right now, when I go back and look at this for a second, I'm like, some of this does look pretty fucking cool. Like, some of it does. But, like, even sometimes you just see there's just so much going on and so much lit up. Like, that's kind of blending into the ground. Hard to tell it's there. That's lighting up the entire place. So if there was a Zeus ult there, plus my 2 with the purples and then that tornado going off, it's so hard to tell what's going on, right? It's so hard. And even if it looks cool, sometimes that doesn't mean it's better for gameplay. And even if it looks cool just in this video, that doesn't always mean it's going to look as good playing it for a consistent 8 hours. I'll just explain it to you that way. You'll have to take my word for it if you didn't experience it. We'll just keep giving feedback to high res. We'll just keep giving feedback, and you know, I do think the map is the thing that needs the most work, but I also understand that it's the most cost-intensive endeavor. We're talking 6 figures to be putting a lot of time into a map. So we'll take what we can get for now. We'll keep giving the feedback about what we think can make it better. And that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the stream. 9 a.m. sharp. More like 8:45. Goodbye.